Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Dillon Talk Sports. My name is Dillon. In today's video, what I wanted to do is I want to make a video kind of discussing the college football Heisman race. There's a lot of great names out there. You got Bo Nix, Quinn Ewers, Drake May, Caleb Williams, obviously as a returner. Dillon Gabriel is now a potential name you could hear. Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels. There's a lot of names to throw out there. The big ones that we're going to be looking at are obviously Caleb Williams being the returning favorite, the one that just won last year. Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. are the two that are kind of becoming like the new favorites right now. And then a name that was before, it was Quinn Ewers that was supposed to be the second favorite behind Caleb Williams, but now with Quinn Ewers losing in the Red River rivalry game, now we have another name kind of added to the list, Dillon Gabriel, like I said. So I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to kind of go through, break down all the finalists, or well, potential finalists that we could see, kind of go through the Vegas odds of all the names that are currently listed, who I think could possibly be there come the end, or come December, who could possibly even just maybe be lucky to be a finalist, and then so forth. Before I go any further, I want to make it very obvious. This is my opinion on what I think is going to happen. You can have your own opinion as well. So if you have an opinion, drop it in the comments. But without further ado, we're going to get right into this. So if you go into enjoy it, as always, make sure you do drop a like. And without further ado, let's get into it. So let's kind of start off with talking about kind of some of the finalists that we could possibly see. Is this website here that I pulled up? It's sports.betmgm.com. I'll put the link in the description if you want to go check this out. But basically, every single time I refresh, it basically kind of gives the new odds of who could win the Heisman. But basically, it kind of give you an idea of how accurate and like how updated they are with kind of keeping the odds up to date. About 2 days ago, Kyle McCord down here, the Ohio State quarterback, he was like a plus like 4,000. After that game against Maryland, he didn't play the best game, but he played an okay game. He dropped all the way down here to plus 8,000. And then a quarterback up here in Dillon Gabriel, he was, I believe, like a plus 3,000. He's now all up to 1,200. And also the one that kind of is a big surprise is Caleb Williams is not the favorite now. Now we have Michael Penix Jr., which we'll discuss Michael Penix Jr. a little bit in this video. So I'm going to kind of get it out of the way, and we're going to kind of go through this list, and I'm going to give you my yes or no. And when I say no, I'm not saying like, no, they're never going to win the Heisman this year, but I'm just saying like, if I had to be a betting man, I'm not going to bet on them. And also, I'm going to kind of hold this to where, as you know, the finalists of a Heisman Trophy, there's usually about 4 Heisman finalists. I'm going to basically say 4 yeses for this entire list. So let's kind of go through the list. Obviously, Caleb Williams, as long as he stays consistent, he will be there as a finalist. So that's going to be my first yes. Let's kind of go and start down here. Travis Hunter, he was on the list at first because of how good he was playing in those first 3 weeks. But now with his injury, he's probably not going to be able to get back in the hunt. So he is going to be gone. Shedeur Sanders, he's playing good. For him being down here at plus 15,000, that is surprising as fuck to me. I think he should be a lot better or a lot higher than this. Do I think he'll be up there in the Heisman finals? I mean, if he plays good, he could. I mean, right here is the stats off of ESPN. We got Shedeur Sanders right up here. He has the most yards in the country out of all quarterbacks. And then when it comes to touchdowns, right here, he's right now about third. He's got 16 touchdowns. He's basically right there. Jaden Daniels, LSU, has 19, and then Caleb Williams, he's obviously leading the country with 22. Sanders only has 2 interceptions. Caleb Williams has 1. And when it comes to completion percentage, he's literally top 10 in completion percentage as well with 72.7%. The one thing with Shedeur Sanders is, and this is going to go for a lot of the other quarterbacks that are on here, the thing that you need to realize, it's kind of like an MVP award with the NFL. If your team is not doing good, you're probably not going to win. If your team's doing good and you're undefeated, or maybe at worst 1 loss, you got a good shot. But the second you take that second loss and then maybe a third loss, your name's pretty much pulled from the pile. You're done. And I'm not gonna lie, Shedeur Sanders, they already got 2 losses. There's a good chance they might go for a third loss here soon. Moving on, we got Kyle McCord. I'm an Ohio State fan. I think Kyle is a good quarterback, but he's not winning the Heisman. The Heisman Trophy is like, you can tell when you watch a player if they are a Heisman player. Kyle's not it. Carson Beck with Georgia. He's got good stats. He's playing good. The game against Kentucky was his first real test where like he went out there and he balled out. But I don't think he's like Heisman material. Would I be surprised if he was a finalist? Probably not, but I'm not going to bet my money on it. Marvin Harrison Jr., no. Receivers, it's too hard for a receiver to get it. You have to have some bonker stats to get up in there. Drew Aller, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's having a good year with Penn State, but not a Heisman season. Sam Hartman, he has potential, but now with those 2 losses, it's done for you. Quinn Ewers, about a week ago, I was saying this might be my pick for Heisman, but now with him losing to Oklahoma, I don't know. I'll think about it. Blake Corum, no, it's too hard for a running back. JJ McCarthy, he's having a good year, and it's hard for me to say as a Ohio State fan. But he could, like I said, if he was a Heisman finalist, it would surprise me a little bit, but I wouldn't be like totally surprised. Like, how the fuck did he get there? Like, He's got Heisman type plays. He makes good throws. It's just the stats don't really, I think, back it up to where, like, I feel like Caleb Williams and a lot of the other guys that I'm going to eventually pick are going to have a lot better stats than him. Jaden Daniels, you just saw his stats. He's up there in completion percentage, yards, touchdowns. But with LSU, they're going to probably have at least like 3 or 4 losses on the end of the year. I just can't see him getting the Heisman, obviously, with that. Drake May, he's an underdog. I'm going to go and say now, I'm going to have an underdog pick, and Drake May is going to be my underdog pick. He's not the guy that I want to pick to win the Heisman, but he's going to be an underdog pick for me. Jordan Travis, I'm going to say no on this one just because I know how Florida State looks so far, and I just got a feeling they're going to take a loss or two randomly here towards the end of the year. Call me crazy if you want. It's just a gut feeling. And then moving on to the very last couple of names. Obviously, like I said, Caleb Williams will be there. And you know what? There's a part of me that says, when it comes to these top 4, why am I just picking the favorites? But sometimes, when they're the favorites, it's because they're that good. We got Michael Penix Jr., we got Caleb Williams, we got Bo Nix, and we got Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel is being shot up the list because of his win against Texas. And I think the whole thing now with Quinn Ewers is, unless Texas and Oklahoma played in the Big 12 title game, and Quinn Ewers was able to get his revenge and beat Dillon Gabriel and Oklahoma Sooners, that would be the only way Quinn Ewers has a shot to win the Heisman, because it's like, if Dillon Gabriel beats you, how can you win the Heisman when I beat you? I played better than you. We got a couple of matchups coming up this week as the time of, I believe this is week 7 for college football. We got Washington and Oregon going against each other, so that's going to be a good-ass matchup. We got Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. We're going to find a lot about these two teams, see kind of where they stand. Oregon has a good defense. Bo Nix has been playing exceptional on offense. And Michael Penix Jr. has been showing up to be, like, arguably maybe the Heisman front runner right now, as we can see. The reason Caleb Williams did drop down is because he had an off game against Arizona. They were down a lot in that game. And then the fact that they went to triple overtime and Caleb Williams only had 1 touchdown, I think it was like 212 yards. He didn't have the prettiest of games, and usually when you have bad games like that, that kind of shows why he dropped. So ultimately, looking at this list, I'm going to say this. Caleb Williams is a finalist. Bo Nix is going to be a finalist. If Michael Penix Jr. wins this game, I think he'll be a finalist. That's kind of where it comes down to. I think Dillon Gabriel, because they don't have really anybody left on the schedule, it's going to be Caleb Williams and Dillon Gabriel are confirmed to be Heisman finalists. Drake May could slip in there as long as they keep winning. As long as Drake May and North Carolina keeps winning, they got a good shot. Florida State, on the other hand, they got a couple of tough games coming up throughout the rest of the year. They got Miami and they got Duke. I realize Miami is nobody cares about Miami anymore after that god-awful loss they just had a couple days ago. Duke is still a good football team. And then obviously they have the rivalry game at the end of the year against Florida. So those are going to be 2 names that I'm kind of watching for. But like I said, Caleb Williams, Dillon Gabriel, and then if I had to pick, I'm going to pick Oregon to win against Washington this week. So it'll be Bo Nix as the 3rd finalist. And then we'll throw Drake May up there as the finals, or the 4th finalist. Then ultimately, if we had to pick a winner of who's going to win this Heisman Trophy, I might pick Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been playing exceptional. He's shot up the rankings when it comes to possibly winning this Heisman. And I think he really put his name out there after that game against Colorado, where everybody was like, oh my God, this is going to be such a good game. And then Bo Nix just said, I am going to kick the living shit out of you. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Bo Nix. Caleb Williams, you could bet on him. Obviously, with him winning last year, everybody just thinks, oh, he's going to win it again. Heismans don't win back-to-back. It is very tough to win back-to-back because when you have a great season one year, you have to play at that same level or even better the next year. And sometimes guys regress. And when you regress, somebody else out there is getting better and they're going to play better than you. Real quick before we wrap up this video, I want to kind of review Oregon's schedule. Oregon's going to be playing against Washington this week, like I said. I think they will be able to win that game. Then they got Washington State. That's going to be a good-ass matchup. I think Washington State, they're kind of regressing now. They started off really good this season, but they did take a loss last week. Oregon, I think, can beat Washington State if Bo Nix is a Heisman-type player. And then they get Utah. That's going to be their last kind of big challenge because it's on the road. Utah, it's a tough place to play. If they can get through that, California's easy. Obviously, these 2 games afterwards, Arizona State is easy. And Oregon State, I believe they can win that game. It's just USC's left. That will be the decider. If Bo Nix and this Oregon Ducks team can get past Washington, Washington State, and Utah, and Bo Nix is putting up 3 touchdown type games, 400 yards, like he has the schedule. That's the thing. When it comes to being a Heisman player, you have to have the resume, like you have to show, hey, I did X, Y, and Z against A, B, and C. And he's going to have it. He's going to have a Colorado team that everybody had hyped up, beat the shit out of them. You got a Washington team here that is playing very well. If you can go out there and Say your defense doesn't play good and you have to go out there and beat them like 56-50. You put up 56 points and you play great. That's a good thing. Go out against Washington State, play a good game. Utah, play a good game. You have 3 back-to-back top 25 teams that you can beat to show to the Heisman committee, hey, I am a Heisman Trophy deserver. And then to top it off, if you can go out there and beat the Heisman favorite, the previous Heisman winner, and Caleb Williams, just around the end of the season to pretty much show I am better than him, that's the best way you can do it. You will have beaten one of the finalists and 2 of the finalists within your own season. And if you can do that, you deserve it. But other than that, that's all I gotta discuss for today's video. As I said in this video, this is my opinion and my prediction of what I think is going to happen. If you have a different opinion or you have a different Heisman winner that you think could win this, whether it's Dillon Gabriel, Drake May, Jordan Travis, Caleb Williams, if you think he's going to win it again, that's your choice. Or if maybe you want to pick a random, maybe like a running back or a receiver, somebody you think that could catapult up the ranks here in the next few weeks, drop it in the comments. Drop your opinion down there. Let me know who you think could possibly win this Heisman Trophy. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video and you are enjoying the content that I do post here and you want to go ahead and hit go ahead and drop a big like on today's video, feel free to do so. And if you're brand new to the channel and you want to go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so. I post all sorts of sports content here on the channel. Don't forget to hit that little notification bell to be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dillon Talk Sports. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.